Thank you.
The question is that the House concur with the resolution of the Senate. I call the member for Hunter.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker, and I acknowledge all those who serve or have served, including those with us this afternoon, including the member for Braddon, who is still in the chamber, and of course I too acknowledge Heston Russell, Julianne Finn, who has had to leave us, and Sapper Tim Logue, who have been maintaining a vigil in the Speaker's gallery throughout the course of this debate. I also too, as others have done, acknowledge Senator Jackie Lambie, who has been on a real crusade with respect to veterans' issues, and in particular the atrocious level of veteran suicide. And it reminds me never to get on the wrong side of Jackie. A commissioning certificate hanging on the wall in my office reads as follows: I, Philip Michael Jeffrey, Governor-General of the Commonwealth of Australia, pursuant to sections 64 and 65 of the Constitution, hereby direct and appoint the Honourable Joel Fitzgibbon MP, a member of the Federal Executive Council, to hold the office of Minister for Defence and to administer the Department of Defence and the Department of Veterans Affairs. Unsurprisingly, Madam Deputy Speaker, I occasionally pause to read and reflect on that certificate, what it means and what it meant to me. Unsurprisingly again, these private moments bring different emotions at different times. Sometimes it's pride, sometimes it's regret, and sometimes it brings great sorrow. On days like today, it's a mix of regret and sorrow. I regret I missed an opportunity to do more for our veterans, and I think we all take collective responsibility for that. I, of course, feel sorrow for those who have paid such a terrible price, whether because they've lost their lives in theatre, whether after serving taken their lives, whether they suffer disability, and of course I have sorrow for the families who have been affected by loss, disability or any consequence of the service of a loved one. The grief of parents who have suffered the loss of a child when wearing the Australian uniform is unimaginable to those who haven't experienced. The member for New England and others have acknowledged the fact that I have a son who serves, and even with that, I cannot imagine, and don't want to imagine, how terrible that must be. Next week I'll officially launch Hugh Pote's account of the murder of his son Robbie and 2 other Australian soldiers in Afghanistan. And it will be a great honour to do so. Hugh's account of that loss and the family's search for honesty, transparency and closure is a very, very powerful one indeed, Madam Deputy Speaker. Each year, the government allocates $11.5 billion to Department of Veterans Affairs. Some $230 million is dedicated to mental health. We may need to spend more. We may just need to spend better. I don't think any of us are sure. But certainly we have to commit the resources necessary to fix this terrible problem we have, which is surely an embarrassment to our nation state. We should not lecture others in other countries about human rights and the extent to which they respect and protect their people, while ever these numbers are so horrifying, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's time for a Royal Commission. Too often we hear calls for Royal Commissions, and each of the causes is worthy. But we all know we can't have a Royal Commission into everything. Royal Commissions must be reserved for the most serious matters, the most complex matters, and those matters requiring interrogation of people under oath. A Royal Commission must be the foundation for the beginning of the journey, the beginning of fixing this problem, Madam Deputy Speaker. The proposition put forward by the government is a good one too. We should have both. We should have the Royal Commission helping us to learn of the mistakes, and the Commissioner taking us forward to oversee that we're doing the right thing, the correct thing, and the only thing to do into the future. Madam Deputy Speaker, I began reflecting on my time serving as Defence Minister. One emotion that never leaves me when reflecting on a commissioning certificate, or one thing that never changes, is my high regard and respect for all those who serve, particularly those who go beyond the wire. And while my memories of being Defence Minister are mixed, one thing that was overwhelmingly positive, or one thing that leaves me with overwhelmingly positive memories, is getting to know and understand those who do go beyond the wire, those who, when they go out, don't know whether they're coming back and know that they may never see their families again. It's a powerful thing to stand alongside those people in theatre, not beyond the wire in my case, Madam Deputy Speaker, and to not fully understand, but to better understand what they go through. And I send them all a message with respect to the Branton report. The Branton report is a very, very serious one. And those who have acted unlawfully will need to be held to account, Madam Deputy Speaker. There can be no walking away from that. But there are enough of us here on both sides, I think, to allow me to say to the overwhelming majority that we have your back. And we will fully appreciate and understand and highlight the mitigating circumstances, the fact that we sent them to war without a plan to win. We sent them there under the command of others. We sent them to fight an enemy that doesn't fight to any rules nor serve in uniform, while at the same time expecting our boys to comply with both domestic and international law and regulations and the like. The list is very long. And we sent them to do all that without properly resourcing them, Madam Deputy Speaker. That is the truth of it. They didn't always have the medivacs they needed. They didn't always have the close air support they required. That is a terrible thing. And when we start to see those things that flow from Branton, all of us will have to be held to account. Those who served as Defence Minister, those who served in the National Security Committee of the Cabinet, those who served as CDF and service chiefs. We're all responsible, Madam Deputy Speaker, and many of us in this place, and if not all of us in this place, will ensure that the fallout from the Branton report is not something that will just fall on them, but will fall on all those who were responsible in some way, in any way, for a culture that developed in Afghanistan and all the consequences that flowed from it. The most important point, Madam Deputy Speaker, is that we need to stand behind our men and women in the Australian uniform.